Podtacular, the unofficial Halo Universe podcast, presents episode 869, Scraping Out Dredge for Gold, recorded live on August 10th, 2023. Hello everyone, welcome to Podtacular, the unofficial Halo Universe podcast. I am one of your co-hosts, Duststorm.
I'm your other co-host, Godzilla T.
And welcome to the mid-season update for Season 4 of Halo Infinite. Got lots of cool stuff. Yeah. New maps, new Forge stuff, new bug fixes, lots of cool things. We have a new book, which I meant to bring downstairs and show off on stream, but I forgot to do that. But yeah, anyways. It'll be a little bit of a shorter one tonight. Wanted to at least cover the mid-season update, since that's a pretty decent-sized update for Halo Infinite. And possibly throw a discussion topic out there for us to talk about. And yeah, probably have a little bit of a lull here before we get the domain on to talk about his trip to Mattel and Mega. Get him on and to talk about that. And might do some more Cursed Halo next week. See what happens.
Cursed.
Yeah,
we still got a lot of campaign to go.
Yeah. 4 missions out of either 14 or 16. I forget how many it is. But out of the regular 10, the rest of them are Mario Kart racetracks. So hopefully those will not take as long as the other missions have taken us.
I don't know. Uberneck kind of had some problems with that one.
It seemed like it. Yeah. Oh, and Pin says he has to go order his Sweet Williams cigars. So there's that.
Oh, yeah. I need to do that too.
I mean, I'm guessing they're up at this point. I think he said last week they were going to be live last weekend. So, anyways, first things first, let's do our Podtacular community recap, starting with how Fraggin Friday went. GT?
We shot people. They died. They shot us. We died. No. We had a lot of fun. We jumped into Fiesta for a while, and then we went into the BTB. And got our royal butts handed to us a couple of times. It was a rough night. It was a rough night in 8v8.
Yeah, the squad battles when I joined, there was a couple of games that were just like, ugh.
Yeah.
Some uphill battles.
We were definitely getting spawn controlled a couple of times.
Yeah.
But all in all, we all had fun. We ended the night back in Fiesta.
Very
so
good.
People could work on their kills.
Yep. It was a pretty good time. I joined a little bit later. And I think we went a little bit more into squad. And I think a bit of Fiesta as we were working on challenges after the stream was done. But yeah, it was a pretty good night. We'll be kicking off some more tomorrow, I'm sure. Especially with some of the new stuff coming out. We might jump around a little bit more often than we normally would. We'll talk about that in just a sec. But moving on, first things first, the new Halo book is now out, Halo Outcasts, which means very soon, and we had a little discussion about this before the show, we're trying to figure out if, because GT hasn't read it yet, because it literally just got delivered like 2 days ago, or released 2 days ago, on whether or not it counts on the bingo card as me being behind. And I think the consensus is between me and GT that since GT hasn't read it yet, I'm not behind technically, so it does not count on the bingo card for tonight, Pens. I'm sorry. But it will next week after GT has listened to the audiobook.
Be rest assured by Saturday morning, he will be behind again. So
yeah. I forget which book I'm in now, but I know I'm 60% of the way through it. It's just
I don't even remember what book you were reading.
It's the second Blue Team book. Shadows of Reach?
Okay.
Yeah, Shadows of Reach. Where they were digging underneath the glass.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Trying to get to Halsey's lab for something, which I'm still not quite there yet. But they're making their progress there.
You'll figure it out pretty quick.
Oh, it's the third Spartan story? Oh. Well, that's the one I'm on, because I know they're on Reach trying to get to Halsey's lab. So, that's the book I'm on. I believe Shadows of Reach is the right one.
Yeah, that's Shadows of Reach.
Okay. So that's the one I'm on. Need to make some progress on that at some point because it's been a while. Anyways, some other stuff in the Halo news space. Like we mentioned at the beginning of the show, we have our mid-season update for Season 4 of Halo Infinite, which has lots of goodness tied to it. First thing is the new map is... I'm probably going to butcher what the name of it actually is, but it's Dredge? No, it's Dredge. Never mind. Not as hard as I thought it would be. This is a reimagining of the Reach map countdown, and I did actually hop on to Halo Infinite to play a game before we got on to kind of get my thoughts about it. And the layout is very faithful to Countdown, obviously, with Halo Infinite Sandbox being quite different from all the other Halo games. There's some concessions made to different elevations and how tall things are, but with the movement mechanics of Infinite, it's definitely a bit different. And the pit at the bottom, where you would go up to the jets that take you up, there's now an intermediate jump from that bottom level to the middle levels where the flags are. And then outside's a big outside expanse. And if you saw Blitz videos, that back outside is also exposed. So if you have the repulsor, you can repulse people off the map, which is fun. Rockets still spawn on that bridge. There's a sniper opposing that. And it's a very faithful layout to Countdown, and it plays really well. I did a King of the Hill match. First hill was on the bottom, middle, second hill is in one of the bases, the third one was in the other base, so you have that cross base fire if you get either the Commando, the BR, or the DMR, which I'm blanking on the name of at the moment. But the playlist is out. It's a 24/7 playlist, so to feature the new map for this week, you can play Dredge to your heart's content. So I'm pretty sure we'll probably jump into it for at least a couple of games just to get a feel for it. Obviously, that's up to GT and the party to start out with, but hopefully we'll get a couple of games in just to see how it feels for everyone else. What are your thoughts on Countdown from Reach? Map you like? Map you're
Well,
okay
it played
with?
well in Reach. I don't know how well it's going to play with the Halo mechanics, depending on how they scaled the map. Because they definitely should have changed the scale of the map.
The scale has definitely been adjusted.
You know, honestly, I've always kind of liked it. I enjoyed it for like stockpile, Reach stockpile, not Infinite stockpile.
Good clarification.
I would prefer that they did Reach's stockpile in Infinite. I think it would be a better fit. I don't really like the energy core thing, but that's beside the point. I also liked it for CTF. It played pretty good for Infection. The two top rooms were interesting, especially those back corners.
Yeah, where you camp with the sword.
Yeah, there was definitely some fun game modes on it. I don't think I ever really had a bad time on it. Of course, most of the maps in Reach I really liked anyway. So,
yeah, I think for me, Countdown was definitely a solid map offering. It played well with most of the game types. CTF definitely had a unique place with it because you are actually pretty close to the other team spawning in that base. So it's a little bit more of a... Because you almost like start off, if you were to split the map or put a cross on the map, you're kind of actually off center. Kind of what would be the middle of the map. So there's a lot more play space over towards the outer section of what was Countdown versus the ship side, the interior part. So a lot more playing flanks on Countdown, which makes the gameplay a little interesting. You're taking risks down the middle versus going around the side, but obviously you need to go towards the side to get the power weapons and power ups and all that stuff.
It'll be interesting to see how it, for me, like I said, I haven't played it yet, so I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I think it'll be a good addition, especially into some rotational playlist type stuff, even maybe making some permanent showings in maybe some of the HCS stuff. I know it's it was definitely a favorite amongst some of the competitive folks, and some of the competitive folks have come out to say that they really like it so far. So we'll see what happens. It seems very well accepted thus far. Also, in the mid-season update, we have improved Pelican drops. So now the Pelican drops in BTB, the 12v12 BTB, will actually drop the same vehicles.
Yes.
It will not be random vehicles between different Pelican drops. It'll be the same vehicles per Pelican drop. So that's nice. It's actually a balanced experience, or a little more balanced, I guess, technically. There's still maybe a difference in timings because of the flight path, but at least the vehicles will be the same.
Mm-hmm.
BTB will now prioritize placing members of your fire team in the squad of 4 instead of spreading them out, which I thought it was kind of doing that already, but I guess maybe there were some glitches on the back end that didn't always put you together. Extermination medals are now working across all game modes. I don't remember which one it was only working for, if it was just not working altogether, but I know some folks had made some videos about it. Mimplist had even called it out that extermination wasn't working. And then it has recently started working across all modes. So for folks that go crazy like Mint Blitz does and some others, you'll finally get that extermination medal and get to hear Jeff Steitzer say extermination, which is definitely, I think, something that's worth it, especially if you get to that point and you get it. So that's fixed. The death cam has been improved. You now can rotate your camera when you're in your death cam, and you can shift to other players as well. A little bit more of the traditional death cam. Not traditional as in Halo CE, because you can do that in Halo CE, but in other Halos after that, you can actually finally rotate through your squad mates. Like GT was saying earlier, I can't remember if you said this before we started the podcast or during, but the water plane now reacts to player interaction. So that means players walking in water, throwing grenades into it, shooting projectiles into it, vehicles running through it, all of that stuff works now with the water. Pretty quick turnaround time from when they added the water block to having the water actually interactable. So that's fun. They show a picture of basically reactor flooded to show off the water. And I haven't actually gone in to see if any of the Forge maps has this feature, but if you're under the water, usually it's just like a layer. So there's no underwater texture or different visual cues to kind of tell you that you're underwater. So I'm wondering if with this update, if they change it to where once you're in water, it's a little bit more murky or blurry visuals, which I think would be a very nice touch visually to water. Forge is getting a whole bunch of quality of life improvements. One thing they call out in the news article is being able to instantly collapse menus with the push of a button instead of having to go up, scroll all the way up to it, and collapse it manually. There's now a dedicated button to collapsing and expanding a menu in Forge. And that's all the big things that they posted on the news article. Obviously, there's a whole lot more that they did in the update, but that is over on Halo Support's webpage if you want to go over to aka.ms/Halo Support to get the full list of patch notes. Any other things stick out to you in that list, GT, that you're excited for?
All of it. The whole water thing I'm very happy about, because that it's just something that has kind of always been in Halo. So it's really, I'm happy to see it back. And then to have it on top of that, have it for
Forge,
as a forgeable thing, it's really nice. It's something that the Forge community has been crying for ever since Halo 3.
Yeah. It'd be a crazy next step for water volumes, or just water in general, is if you can say for a water block, for this water block, the water flows in this direction at this speed.
Yeah.
So you could scale down the water block. So maybe it's a stream. So it's like a trickling stream. And then as you get further down the stream, it could be more rushing water type thing as you go down. I think that'd be cool. Obviously not needed, but having flowing water would be kind of interesting. It's probably a tall order. It's probably a big thing to engineer.
Baby steps.
Right. I mean, just the fact that we have a water volume and people have been wanting that since Halo 3's Forge.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Maybe Halo Reach. Maybe giving it a little too much credit. But definitely since Halo Reach's Forge. With Forge Island and everything, people have been wanting forgeable water. Something else in the patch notes that a few folks have called out is Quick Resume now supposedly works with Halo Infinite on Xbox. So you don't get the online services reconnecting thing.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. I still kill the game.
I do too, just out of habit. I do that for every game because I don't know of a single game that actually works well with Quick Resume.
Yeah.
Maybe a single player game, but with everything that is connected to a live service for any kind of live offerings, you sever that and you wake it up hours later and it's like, oh, I don't know what to do. This time is you've traveled into the future. But
you no longer have access.
For those that use it, I mean, I guess for those that use cloud streaming, if you're gaming from your mobile device or something else, a low-powered PC, I guess it makes sense where if you just want to pause a session, close out of game streaming, and then come back to it later, that makes sense.
Yeah, I don't know.
But for me, with how fast the Xbox Series X is, I don't mind waiting the 10 seconds for the loading screen to go up and I'm back in the game fully fresh and launched. No possible bugs that I have to deal with.
I've recently just started putting my Xbox to basically power off. I no longer leave it in low power mode.
Okay.
I mean, even in low power mode, that the Series X, it puts off some heat. Even sitting there in its sleep state, you can't keep your hand over the top of it for very long. It's toasty.
I don't think that's sleeping.
Yeah, the power light's off.
Well, and there was the whole controversy a while ago of Microsoft trying to push green on everybody with its low power state thing.
Well, basically all they did is ask if you wanted to change your power settings to actually power the Xbox off or keep it in a sleep state so that it'll download updates when necessary, things like that.
I don't know what
and on my Series X, it's not so much of a problem because even from cold boot or being completely off, it boots up pretty quick. I mean, 15 seconds before I'm completely in. Now my Xbox One S's, those things, they take about a minute and a half to come from a power off state to the dashboard. It takes a while for those to boot up. So the change in technology, or I should say the speed of the hardware has changed enough to where it is not practical. Well, having a sleep state is not as necessary as it used to be. And then my Xbox One X, it's about in the middle of that. It probably still takes it from completely powered off to the dashboard. It probably still takes 50, 60 seconds for it to get there. But it does have kind of a long boot animation it goes through.
Yeah.
Which is absolutely
the newer consoles,
cool. But I love the boot animation for that Scorpio. Oh, it is cool.
I haven't turned mine on in a while to see what it to go remember what it looks like. I wish for the Halo Infinite Xbox Series X that they would have had a Infinite flavored Xbox startup sequence, or for any of the custom
that would have been
consoles.
Nice.
Just like,
but about as custom as they've gotten with that is the custom audio. So
yeah,
and the paint job, of course.
Right. One other thing that I saw got mentioned in Mitz Blitz video is you can turn off your AI voice in multiplayer.
AI voice. Oh,
Yeah, your
yeah.
little AI companion voice thing. Which, I mean, I get that it's not for everybody. I would probably just stick with the Jeff Steitzer voice. The one I have, I'm okay with. It's the default one, but it's kind of the southern voice. I forget what
Yeah.
the Butler. So it's a little bit more middle of the road. I think not quite the annoying, playful, or quirky type lines. But I think
Honestly, I've gotten to the point where most of the time I don't even hear it. I mean, it plays and it just, and I register the noise. I don't listen to it. Kind of like with Sarah Palmer. I just, after listening to so many games, you just
blow up
tune
the
it
enemy
out.
core.
Yeah. You can still blow up the enemy core. No, I can't, because I can't get on my own damn base.
Yeah, I'm losing 850 to 147. I'm going to destroy the enemy core when they have all 3 capture points. Yeah, right.
There's 4 tanks, 3 banshees, and a couple of wasps outside my front door. I'm not going to their core.
Oh, and 2 Phaeton Helioses that Bobby or PT can't get.
The sad thing is, over 5 years?
6?
Of Halo 5, 6 years of Halo 5, I can still count the number of total Phaetons I've got on both my hands.
Not just Helioses, but Phaetons?
Just Phaetons in general. It's still less than I've got fingers.
That's pretty bad.
I've actually gotten more Phaetons from keys than I have anybody else. Or from my own stash.
People will spawn them in for you. It's like, here you go.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, I'd love to have a Phaeton, but
is there anywhere that we can random tangent that we can go find out what our company progress is towards a key?
Not anymore. They've shut it all down.
I wonder if that's even still unlockable.
Or it's about, well, the last place I think we could have checked it was the old Xbox companion app. And I think it's about to shut down.
You can actually check it on the console companion app? Really?
Well, I think you had to go into our company. Let me look.
But the companies were only, it's not a club. The companies were only through Waypoint. Because the clubs are through Xbox.
I thought we could get to the company.
I don't think so. That. I'm not sure where you would find it. Because there's the clubs tab. I'm still sad they're getting rid of the console companion. It's the best. It's the best Xbox app. It's so much better than the Xbox app. Like, why?
All I had to do was integrate the Xbox One stuff into this app. They didn't have to build a new app. And honestly, they didn't even need to do that. All I had to do was not change it.
Yeah,
I'm only complaint that I've ever had about the companion app is the fact on your active feed. You go to customize your active feed and you uncheck anything. And the only thing you'll ever get is stuff Xbox puts out. Like I say, I wanted to just narrow my feed down to my friends and favorites. But I do that, and the only thing I ever get is Major Nelson or the official Xbox. I'm like,
well, no more Major Nelson because he's not there anymore. But yeah, it's sad that the console companion app is going away. I'm keeping it installed. I'm hoping it's just hey, they're not providing updates and they're not letting people download it again anymore. I'm going to keep it installed and see how long it actually takes before they kill it.
Well, I mean, if I remember right, the original Xbox app is still up for the previous one to the console companion.
I mean, I think didn't it get replaced with the new Xbox app?
I don't know.
I thought the new Xbox app essentially just replaced it.
Well, no, the Xbox app, it just made you download the Xbox app.
Yeah, but I can't see clubs, I can't see achievements, I can't see gaming feed. Like, the Xbox app is useless.
Yeah, it is. It doesn't even make a good game launcher.
No.
Game bar, Insider, Avatar. Yep, the Avatar editor is still there. The original Avatar editor is still there. Yeah. Oh, you can't even sort by publisher anymore. Thanks, Microsoft Store.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to not have a problem with the Microsoft Store when it was on when they were using it for the Windows 10 or Windows phones. It was actually pretty easy to navigate, but man, and even for Windows 8, it wasn't too bad. Every time they update it, it seems to get worse in the name of improving it. I guess it's not on the store anymore, but I could swear, it's still installed with Windows 10.
Everyone just needs to go review bomb the Xbox app.
Yeah, I've left my opinion on it.
I just did on mine. Where were we? I forget what we were talking about before we went on that tangent of Halo 5 and Achilles. Yeah, I don't know where we would even check that anymore.
Yeah. The only way we could do it is if maybe we had an old book. If somebody has an old bookmark to the Spartan company, we might be able to do it that way, but I doubt it.
I don't know if I removed the company. Oh, yeah. So the podtacular.com/company URL still redirects, but where it redirects to is a dead page. So I guess there's no more Spartan companies.
Yay. I mean, I like the idea of it. It kind of brought back that whole clan feel from Halo 2. It gave a place for like-minded people to get together, but they just never did anything with it. They just, okay, here it exists. And then, yeah, we are going to update the website and we're not going to do it anymore. It's too much trouble.
Yeah. Maybe that's what I need to do with Virtual if I ever get my butt off and do it, is actually have some kind of integratable clan system with Halo 5. Or not Halo 5, Halo Infinite. Being able to pull together stats, be able to coordinate matches.
Mm-hmm. I mean, the API is out there if you can figure out how to use it.
So there's a not very well documented, but a very well explainer video from this person, which I actually want to reach out to and actually put some effort towards Virtual. But Dan Delamarski did a whole video series on how he has used Fiddler, which is it's typically used as a troubleshooting tool, but you can use it as a proxy to monitor web calls and API calls. But basically how he used that to load up Halo Infinite on PC, see the web calls that the game was making, and pull out all the endpoints that is basically the undocumented Halo Infinite API, which is the same thing that Halo.api uses, that Tracker.net uses, all these other Halo Infinite stats sites. They're using the same API. So this person actually went out, showed what he did with Fiddler, how he deduced what pieces were being called on, and also how to get the tokens to interact with the API and essentially just gain access to it. Now, the reason why a lot of the different stats sites were up and have gone down recently over the last 6-9 months or so is you actually have to have an Azure app, and there's a cost associated with that and the calls that you make to services. So there is an inherent cost to actually running these services and making the calls. So at the low level, all these stat sites are actually, you put in your gamer tag, you'll do a first time calling of all your stats, and then it only updates on demand, only as frequent as somewhere as low as 15 minutes, somewhere as high as 2 hours or even 6 hours or even a day before you can refresh your stats again. For those that have actually gone and watched some of the streamers, you've seen the ranking overlay, which is done by Halo.api, and they've only handed out to a few streamers, so they're not incurring costs, but they had where it was only updating every 2 minutes, and because they were only updating certain streamers, they were keeping their costs down. But essentially there is an API out there. It is undocumented, but given my computer science background, I'm able to very easily follow what this person has done with Fiddler. And there's another tool that I'm blanking on at the moment, but you can basically recreate API calls that you make out to an endpoint. And I went way too deep. I'm sorry for going so deep into this, but essentially, yeah, there's an API out there. I don't know if the API for Halo 5, I mean, I guess it's still out there because the game runs on it. But to go back to my original point, I think clans would be nice to have back. It would be something that I think would foster some of that more amateur competitive side of things. Like, I know we have the Halo competitive or Halo Championship Series, HCS, which is all the pros and whatnot. And there's been several good efforts to have some of the amateur type leagues go, and SWAT Nation has good events. There's plenty of other sites and organizations that host these smaller events. But it'd be cool to just be like, hey, here's a clan. I want to issue a clan challenge like you could do in Halo 2. Compare stats with other clans and do challenges and whatnot. It might be possible to write something to create a clan-like experience. We'll just have to wait and see if I ever get around to that. I don't know if time with the baby... yeah. I don't know if time with the
when
baby...
When he's 93 years old, he will finish Virgil.
Yeah, right. Maybe baby time will be enough time to at least crack the nut on getting something out there. Maybe it'll be time for me to actually catch up on books. It'll definitely be that. It'll definitely be time to catch up on books. All right. On to our next article, which is the Forge features. So the Forge features for this month is a lot of remakes again. I feel like a lot of the Forge stuff has mostly highlighted remakes because that seems to be what the community is craving right now. But there are some new creations in here as well.
Mm-hmm.
There are 3 remakes, or reimaginations, if you want to call them. First one's from Unique, which I think it might be worth getting him on the show. I think with how many different Forge maps he's made, it's warranted. He made Longshore, but he kind of extended it and improved on it.
Yeah.
There's now
definitely has an expandable play area.
Yes. So it contains the original map just from the single screenshot that we have, but has expanded it with ships that have been docked. And there's also a crane platform and a crane with a long beam on it, which I'm assuming is actually you can get onto it from the ships to go between the ships. So has taken Longshore and basically expanded it probably to fit the 12v12. And I think there's some additional it looks like there's some additional expansion in the middle building.
Hard to tell from the screenshot, but looks possibly.
So Unique has remade Longshore along with several other folks. The Cage has been remade, which is essentially it was kind of a lockout reimagining in Halo Reach, but this one looks really cool. It's in an abandoned mine with a whole bunch of stalactites. I wonder if the stalactites actually work in here. Be curious to see. And then the other remake is Infinity. I should have said the Cage was made by V Primeval. And then Infinity, which is a Halo CE map, Halo CE PC map, to be more specific, has been remade by Condu VT. This one is a very interesting map. It's a figure 8 map. It was built for Big Team, although even at Big Team scale for Halo PC, it was a huge map.
Oh yeah, it's enormous.
All the PC Big Team maps were gigantic. I even think for 12v12, Infinity is probably still a little too big just with the layout of the map.
Oh yeah.
But I'm curious to see how it plays with 12v12.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they've done to change scale on it. If they did anything, they honestly, with the movement mechanics of Infinite,
They
you
probably didn't need
actually
to do
would want
anything.
to shrink the map as opposed to do anything else, just to
Or
make it
keeping
fit
it.
or just to make it more playable for 12v12. I honestly think that map in its original form could probably support 24 to 36 players. We've played it on game nights and even in big team on Master Chief Collection, and it takes forever to find anybody.
It's a huge map.
Mm-hmm.
Because we had that one, Gyrophobia, Death Island was another huge map. Not quite as bad as Infinity, but still pretty big. Timberland, that was another specific. That one's a little bit more playable 8v8.
Yeah, that one was scaled pretty close to being right.
Danger Canyon, which that was about right. It was still probably a little big, but it was about right. And Ice Fields, which was remade it was reimagined in Halo 4. So those are the 5 PC specific CE maps for Big Team. We also have 2 other not remake maps. This first one is Throne by Dark Maiming, with a description of a battlefield whereupon you shall ponder the orb.
Looks kind of like a Cryptum.
It looks like it's forged to be that way. Although, with the screenshot that was provided, it doesn't really tell you what kind of map it is.
No.
So, good luck. Nor does the next one, called Kingpin, by Apache, Nerd Chaotic, and Amadeus 615. It mentions pop-outs and jump scares, so I'm wondering if there's animated or triggered areas that will cause things to pop out. Maybe it's more of a fiction style map.
Could be.
Would be my guess based on the description. So we'll see what customs come out next month, and I'm sure there will be plenty more remakes mixed in with some new maps. So we will see. Cyber Showdown event number 2 is underway as of Tuesday this week. There's a whole new set of unlocks, a whole new event battle pass with 10 tiers to unlock. There's an associated nameplate to go along with it. Some really cool ultimate rewards and weapon skins. I like the color palette for this time. It has mostly purples and teal. I do like purple. I really do like purple.
I do like the charm.
They have two
charms.
I unlocked the CE charm today. The CE box art charm. I unlocked that one today.
That one, I might actually use that one. I honestly hate charms. They distract. If I ever pick up a weapon that has a charm on it, like I'm scavenging from a BR or something like that, I find the charms very annoying.
You know what's my weapon charm? This.
Yeah.
I have this as a weapon charm.
I mean, people that use them, more power to you. That's fine. I just find them very distracting. Honestly, I don't have any customization on any of my weapons. Their default skins is all I use.
I've got the skins. I've got the charm just because I have that one. I did actually. Xbox just released this. I'm going on another tangent here, but bought this controller. I don't know how well the purple. Okay, yeah, you can kind of see it, the color shift from blue to purple. So now instead of, and I don't know, Blue, if you still listen to these podcasts, but I know you were the one that organized this thing to happen with the custom elite. But to me, honestly, the stock Xbox controllers feel the best to me. They really do. Like, I really appreciate this, and I've been using it as my PC one for a while, but there's just something about the stock Xbox controllers that I like more.
Other than the weight of the Elite controllers, I prefer them. The stick movement and the buttons. It's all personal preference. the stock Xbox One or Xbox Series X controllers, the thumbsticks are just too loose for me. They just wobble around too much. I personally like a more firm stick.
See, to me, the Elites are more loose.
But you do know you
Than
can
the
turn the
Xbox
tension
One.
up on those, right?
On the originals? No. Maybe the new ones, not the originals. Can you? I don't think so. There's no twist mechanism. There's no screw mechanism underneath the cap.
Oh, that's right. You have that's the original one. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah, this is the original. I have not tried.
But even the
Hey,
original
Hayden,
one,
thanks for the raid.
Yeah, thanks, Hayden. Even the original ones, I like the stick feel better than I do the stock controllers.
Yeah, the stock ones have more of a tension on them, which is why I like it better than that one. Like the sticks is the main reason why I didn't like that one, is because maybe I just got so used to this one where I can flick with this and get more accurate like flick shots than I can with the Elite.
Nothing personal against the scuff controllers there. Tattoo.
I should actually try one. I've never actually tried
I bought a scuff controller, and inside of 30 days, it was broken. I contacted them about getting a replacement or repair, and they basically told me to stick it, that it was my fault it was broken. So that controller went to the trash, and I won't deal with them anymore. That's just my personal experience with them. They may have changed a bunch since then. I won't deal with them. And I honestly have really good luck with the Elite controllers. I've only had to warranty one. And on the original Elite, the only reason I've ever had to replace the bumpers is because I was a stupid and threw the controller.
But yeah. So maybe I can try that Halo Elite 2 at some point, but this is my go-to. And even though like this is a brand new controller compared to this one that I've been rocking for a better part of maybe 2 years at this point, because I think I bought it shortly after I got the series. Yeah, maybe about 2 years. The sticks are a little bit looser on this one just from use, but I can still flick with this one just fine.
Yeah, well, I can't flick with any of them, so it doesn't matter.
I finally got my settings dialed in for Infinite to be able to be more consistent.
You screenshotted them and saved them, right?
I haven't screenshot them, but now at least they match between Xbox and PC.
So screenshot each one of them and save it somewhere. So next time they update Infinite and reset everything, you know where to put it.
Well, so funny enough, whenever the resets have happened, it's never been controls.
Well, with me, it's been random. It doesn't reset all the controls. It'll only reset some of them.
Interesting.
And then I've had times where it doesn't do anything. It doesn't reset anything. The Infinite updates it's like Russian roulette as to what you actually get.
I think, well, have you had the issue since season 4?
No, I haven't had this. I haven't had the issue recently. So
that was a major headache in
season
3.
That was really annoying.
Because sure enough, every 2 or 3 game nights, you would hear me complaining about having to go reset my freaking settings.
Well,
and Infinite during game night.
I just got into the habit of, as soon as I fired up Infinite, I went through and double checked all my settings, and almost every time I'd have to fix at least 2 of them.
I guess
sometimes I'd have to redo the whole map, everything. It would even lose my button mapping. It would reset everything to default. Thankfully, it only did that once.
Maybe I use enough of the default controller options where maybe it hasn't hit me that way. Because
like I said, the button mapping thing only happened once. Thankfully. But yeah, mainly the problem I would have, it would reset the sensitivity on my sticks. And honestly, I'm still kind of dialing in on the sensitivity. I've got it pretty close to where I like it, but I still get a wobbly finger every once in a while. If anybody ever watches the stream, if you see the reticle going in circles, you know what's going on.
Testing. So, Cyber Showdown, yes, I like purple. I'm happy with the coatings. I forget what the ultimate is this week. Oh, it's the sniper skin. Why put the sniper skin at the end and all the other whatever. I would have put the charm at the end.
Yeah, put something out there at the end that somebody might want.
Right, like that charm. Like the challenges are not that hard. Like you can get them pretty quick, especially this week's worth of challenges. I've already blown through 4 of them. I've only played 2 games this week, maybe 3. Yeah. So, anyways, that's happening this week. Go get your battle pass unlocked. We've also got a community corner with a community member called Entrancing, who is an artist. First artist that we've seen. We don't actually, I mean, there's a lot of art that gets highlighted in the community spotlight. Don't get me wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Was not expecting this to be the next community corner, but happily surprised. I admit I have not had a chance to read this yet because it just came out today, just came out this morning. And it looks like she is very talented with her drawings. She does varying different kinds of drawings, from pencil sketches to markers, some landscapes, some portraits, there's a map overview, a blood gulch that she's done, and some other things, a ship.
Spirit of Fire.
Not just Spirit of Fire. If you go through the whole reel.
She's done Spirit of Fire, Pillar
Shadow
of Autumn.
Intent. Yeah.
In Amber Clad.
Mm-hmm.
Forward Unto Dawn.
Done some paintings.
Mm-hmm.
Infinite and Reach inspired paintings. Very talented. Ooh, I like the Halo 3 key art one. That one's nice.
And I like they actually show her progress as an artist. They have a comparison of a Spartan she drew in 2015, and then she drew the same Spartan in 2023. Not a lot of artists do that.
That's a big improvement. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Favorite part or favorite piece of art that she's, or no, not that she's made, but her favorite piece of artwork is the cover art of Shadows of Reach and Outcast. I'll be looking forward to reading more of this later. And that is it for the wrap up this week. Not sure if we'll have a podcast next week. My parents are also in town, so don't know if there'll be any. Not anticipating any big breaking news, but in the event that we do stream, we will probably be doing more Cursed Halo. So prepare yourself for more wackiness of me using D20s to kill myself and GT having to finish the rest of the mission without me.
Or killing both of us.
Or that too. And we are going to have the domain on at some point. We just have to find a time on the schedule to get him on. He has voiced interest. We just got to get it scheduled. And final piece of note is congratulations to Space Station Gaming for winning their event this past weekend.
Congrats.
I believe Quadrant, which was the team that broke top 3 in the last event, either got 4th or 5th place in this event. So still making a show from International, which is pretty good. It sounds like the overall reception to the Space Station Gaming event was a lot better than the Optic one. At least the initial clips I've seen from HCS Pro Talk made it seem like it was a lot better produced. There's a lot more things to do at the venue. I will say, for someone who was watching some of the streams this weekend, and the official Halo events also have this problem, but seeing the same reel of commercials over and over and over again gets old very quickly. It would be nice
just like network TV.
Well, it would be nice if, okay, you have some of them that you're going to show all 3 days, but maybe save some of the commercials for different days. So maybe on the first day you have a pool of 2 that are specifically for Friday, and then on Saturday you have a pool of maybe 3 more that you throw into the mix. So at least it's kind of fresh for the day, or maybe you rotate them out every 4 hours, but just something where it's not the same commercial reel over and over and over again. And even on network TV, there are some commercials that get replayed, but it's not nearly as often. Anyways, just a little rant. But that's going to wrap it up for tonight. Any final thoughts or inputs before we conclude this episode, GT?
Not tonight.
Thanks everyone for tuning in. We will catch you all tomorrow for some Fraggin Friday. Have a good night. Thank you for listening to Podtacular, the unofficial Halo Universe podcast. You can find our podcast on your favorite podcasting service and listen to us live every Thursday night at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time on Twitch. Check out our website, podtacular.com, and join the community on Discord at podtacular.com/discord. If you want to play Halo with us, come join us for Fraggin Fridays at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. You can find us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Become a supporter of the show by sharing the show with your friends and family, or help keep the lights on by subscribing to us on Twitch, donating via PayPal, or becoming a patron alongside Confowl, Pins Halo, and Prestige Ace. Until next time, keep on fragging trucks.